Okay, you guys, what is up? This is OJ Senpai here today to review One Piece episode 645. So, listen, guys, I was on a hiatus technically because I have stuff to do. My final exams are coming up, and so after these videos, I actually have to go study for them. So yeah, apologize for not doing last week's manga chapter reviews. So yeah, for the only for the manga readers, I'm sorry. Now, however, I will be doing One Piece, then Magi, and then Hunter x Hunter, because Hunter x Hunter, that's what you have to talk about. Now, so let's go on with this review. Oh yeah, and another thing in my videos, I'll start with basically what I think about the episode, my thoughts, and going in depth with it instead of starting off with the basics. So I'll do the basics at the end of the review, at the end of my reviews now. So let's get started. All right. So listen, this episode was actually okay, but it wasn't the best episode. Sorry. Okay. It wasn't the best episode that we've seen. Now, there is a lot of hype between the battle between Luffy and Don Chinjao. That fight's going to happen eventually. Because we all know, I mean, if Luffy doesn't win, then the next person is Chinjao, obviously. So, the hype with Chinjao is great in this episode. But mainly, this episode only covers what's going on in the Block C. There's actually a lot of filler that I actually do like in this episode. Like there's some filler with Law. Is it filler? I'm not too sure. But there is some kind of filler with Law. Um, more filler with Doffy, with Zoro and Wicca, and that's pretty much it. So let's see. All right. So let's start off with the Block C thing. This dude Ideo. Now Ideo is apparently the champion of the New World's X Championship or something like that. Like he's the winner of this championship in the New World, where it comes to like I think probably like hand to hand combat. And Ideo doesn't really do anything much in this episode that we've seen so thus far that's extremely impressive, because he manages to punch. Remember Harujin? That giant managed to punch Harujin's unconscious body into the water, just one punch. That's impressive, but it's not something that like because Luffy managed to do it and Luffy did it with ease. So I mean, obviously Ideo has a lot of strength, or Ideo, yeah, Ideo has a lot of strength, but it's not something that to be like really focused on. Like oh shit, like is Ideo going to be that important? But it is interesting how his punches are apparently like bombs. Like once he punches you, it's like an explosion. It's like a cannon, and that's why he's named Ideo the Cannon in the first place. Ideo the Cannon. I can't pronounce his name. Ideo the Ideo. But and we see him and Luffy go at it again. That part was filler because that actually didn't really happen in the manga. We do see Luffy go in, and we see Luffy putting his own like, hockey, and then he just goes in, and it's nice, but it's not something that you know I would expect. And despite the fact that they were filler in this episode, the filler wasn't that bad. It was actually good. It was actually good filler. Which is interesting. Now, Chinjao. So Chinjao apparently, him and his grandsons Boo and Sai, they're apparently we already know that they're from Kano Kuni, and Kano Kuni apparently has this martial arts style called the Hashoken, aka the eight not eight dragon. I'm thinking of Naruto for a second. The eight of impact. Is it fist of eight impacts? That's what it's called, otherwise known as the Hashoken in Japanese. And it's really interesting because we see it in actual combat. And when I think it was Sai kicked some gladiator's shield, the force of the impact actually multiplied itself like kind of like sound waves in a sense, or at least like its impact was a lot greater. And it did look similar to, if you remember, kind of similar to Whitebeard's Gura no Mi, where Whitebeard could do quakes and stuff. It's like that in a sense with the Hashoken, but it's at a smaller degree. Like you obviously see like it's concentrated into one area, and it can break down armor and any kind of defense. So obviously, Kano Kuni, if you want to train there, it's not a bad place. You can learn a lot of things there. But when you talk about Chinjao is a lot more interesting because Chinjao he apparently has Haoshoku no Haki. He has it like Luffy does, and we see him in the episode. He's like this, and all of a sudden everyone's just knocked out. The the animation on that part was actually fantastic. But again, the basics will be at the end. Now, so obviously Chinjao is a huge, massive threat. You know, for a guy who had over 500 million berry bounty, not bad. Now, actually, not just not that bad. It's really impressive. Now, when it comes to Bobby Funk and Kelly Funk, the Funk brothers, we already know that they're assassins from their kingdom. I forgot their name, but from their kingdom, and they're opposites in the sense that Bobby Funk isn't that much of a fighter. Yeah, Bobby Funk is the younger brother, so Bobby Funk really isn't that much of a fighter. However, he has extremely durable skin that can even withstand armor hockey attacks. Like if you like, we saw Boo, the vice leader of the Kano Kuni gang, and he uses the armament hockey axe, but the armament hockey axe. However, he the axe breaks. Like it's like whoa, it's like this dude's body is really damn strong. Now, so obviously Bobby Funk's really powerful when it comes to his body alone. However, he's not that much of a fighter. I mean, we see him in this episode. He's just I don't like fighting. And there's also this gag of him where apparently he holds down like he always makes sure he always tells his brother like calm down and stuff, but he always misses like his brother, like his brother's fighting this one dude and beating the shit out of him, like yeah, and we see Bobby like, wait brother, calm down, but instead of pushing away his brother Kelly Funk away from the person that's getting his ass whooped. He's like, oh, I'm holding down the person that's actually getting my ass whooped. So it's kind of like he's helping him. So I guess that's his gag. It's kind of funny. It's all right. But now let's get to Kelly Funk. Now Kelly Funk, when it comes to his body doesn't seem to be that durable at all. However, he seems to have some skill in boxing, like some skill. And he did manage to fuck up that gladiator. So I mean, it's not that bad. But whatever. But we see this episode he's able to well no he apparently tells Bobby to put him on, and it's kind of weird, but at the same time we see excuse me, we see Kelly Funk. We see him again, he's fighting Boo, and he's actually beating his ass. But this time he's different because Kelly Funk is bigger now, and apparently he has like Bobby's like weight and size. And if you can remember before, of course, obviously Bobby has a really extreme strong body. So we don't know exactly what that is. Whether or not it's a devil fruit, we're not too sure. We're not too sure at all. But yeah, so that was pretty much the Coliseum overall. Overall, it's just mainly just hype, the little fights here and there. But obviously, the big fight that we really want to know is Luffy and Chinjao. But oh, one more thing, John the Bandit. Now, this guy is actually interesting because he's a sniper, but his sniping isn't with like any kind of ranged weapons. He picks up weapons from the ground and has these nasty ass throws. Like he throws them, bam, bam. Like he just throws them and like it spears people in the chest and shit. And it's not even like it's probably like faster than even like a normal bullet should fly. Like he's pew, 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 and he's just taking down dudes. But apparently he's this big bounty hunter who takes like prisoners who have escaped from most likely Impel Down, and he brings them back. And interestingly enough, he mentions that because like there's this guy apparently who's trying to avenge his friend who got like attacked from John the Bandit, and John took his friend back to prison. He's like, oh, I'm gonna avenge him. However, he said if you want to do the same thing, if you want to do like if your friend wanted to do the same thing, he should have done like that other dude did 2 years ago. He's probably talking about Impel Down. He's probably talking about Monkey D. Luffy. That's obvious. Now, what he has to do with that, we're not too sure. But obviously, that's important. And the rest of the episode, basically, we see these filler scenes between what's his name? I forgot. I'm sorry. Trafalgar Law, Doflamingo and Fujitora. Doflamingo cuts down the meteor and he bolts, he runs. And we see this new move of Doflamingo. It's called Bullet String. Like it's kind of like he's actually shooting on bullets, like pew 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 pew. It's kind of cool. And he's trying to chase after Law, and Fujitora comes in as well. So obviously, Law has to be on the run. Like he has to be on the run real quick. And the other part of the episode really wasn't that interesting. It was just basically the whole thing with Wicca and Zoro. It's the same thing that's going on. Zoro's running gag of how he gets lost really easily, and Wicca she's just crazy pretty much. That's all I gotta say. But pretty much that's it for the episode. Basics. I have to get those done. Animation was meh. It was okay. I'm gonna give it okay plus because there were some scenes where I like okay, it's highlighting up a little bit, especially when it came to Don Chinjao. So okay plus for the animation. When it comes to story progression, oh subpar. I'm not to say that subpar. It's not something like the major really like the story progression was minimal at best. Like it needs to speed up a little bit more. So yeah. And when it comes to pacing, I'm gonna have to go give that. I'm actually gonna give that okay plus as well. So yeah, okay plus, subpar plus. That's for all the pretty much the basics. And this episode stuff, I'm gonna give it okay plus. It was an okay episode of One Piece. The whole Chinjao scene had me hyped, but I'd rather actually focus on Chinjao versus Luffy. That's what I want to see. So yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? What's going to happen in Block C? Do you think Luffy's going to win? Probably, obviously, Luffy's going to win. Do you think that Chinjao, is really a lot more powerful? Like, why did Garp and Chinjao fight in the first place? Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. Rate, comment, and subscribe. The rating for this episode is okay plus. I'll see you guys later. I'm Oji Senpai, and I'm out. Peace, guys.